And see, it's not Legend of Zelda, like the song playing right now. Everyone knows Legend of Zelda. We know it's good. And you've played it a million times. Yeah. See, that's what I'm telling people. Like, I love the original Legend of Zelda to this day. You've seen me run through it on my channel how many times, or like hacks. But like, I'll never say it's in the top 10. Like, it's a fun game and all, don't get me wrong. But it just, like, the replay value has shifted. Like, I would say the replay value was a 10 out of 10 back when I first started playing it, because it was still new. You know, I still didn't remember everything I did the first playthrough. And, but, like, I've beaten the game 100 times easily. So, it's at this point, it's more of an algorithm than a game. It's just, like, go through this set of checkpoints, you know, like, get the sword, collect the money for the blue ring, collect the money for the bow and the bombs, get the candle, start on level 1, get the first 3 hearts, get the new sword. You know, like, it's just now this algorithm that I follow. So it kind of took away, just with every time I beat the game, it just took away more and more of that replay value. And now it's just like so fucking low. Mainly also because it has the Nickelback effect, which is an effect I came up with myself, where everyone hates Nickelback, not because they're bad, because we just heard it every goddamn channel, every goddamn day. And it just got annoying as shit. That's why I feel that way about Queen. Queen and Nickelback, they just play them on every fucking channel, constantly. So, it happened with Legend of Zelda. Like, I just got sick of watching people review it, play it, talk about it. What's your favorite game? Legend of Zelda. Top 10 NES games. Oh, maybe this one will be different. Number 1, Legend of Zelda. Fuck! Like, it just, you know, like, it happened with everybody. And it just, it Nickelbacked me, man. It just went, I'm fucking done with Zelda. So yeah, I just replaced it with, like, other games. And I think if more people would just come to that, not saying you have to come to that conclusion about Zelda, but just have the mindset of, maybe my top 10 isn't really my top 10. Maybe it's just the comfortable top 10 that I can talk about and know, because everyone else does. Like, and that's why McKids is my number 1. Because if you look at it as purely a game, like, it's elements. You break it down scientifically under the scope, right? Like, it's elements. It's gameplay. It's soundtrack. It's control. It's diversity. It's uniqueness. Just everything you can possibly rate a video game on. Watch, I can prove it as I'll play it tonight. It's just 9s and 10s across the board. There's,
I'd say Zelda lands in my top 10, but it's probably going to be like 9 or 10.
But that's, see, my point then, it's also that way because you haven't seen the full library of video games that Nintendo has to offer. Yeah. Right.
Like,
and most people haven't.
My favorite NES game of all time is still, to this day, Facsimile.
See, and that's awesome. You're actually on my side then, because that's one that people will never mention.
Yeah, like...
And it's like, dude, you need to, because that game is fucking brilliant.
It's like, I talk to so many people that have had Nintendos, and they're like, I've never heard of that game. I'm like, what? You have to play it.
Because, like, okay, so Facsimile got a little bit of go behind them when it came out. It was like... Because I remember back in the day, I'm trying to find something comparable. You know, it was kind of like... I'm trying to think of an artist that was like a quick fix, because that's what it was. It was one of those games that, like, it was developed by a good company, so everyone had that because they had the brand loyalty. And then I remember it being like big because it was an action RPG like the second Legend of Zelda game, and there wasn't many like that.
Yeah.
So it had that, and it was real popular. Like Nintendo Power and all the magazines hit it real hard. But it all happened. It was like ska music. Like it just burned bright and then died. You know, like, yeah, it just went boom. Every band that plays this shit just knows what's happening and awesome, and it's the greatest ska thing ever. And then, so it happened with that game. They were one of those burn bright and fast.
It's the only NES game that I own.
Yeah.
It's the only one that I own. I don't even have an NES, but I will forever keep that game because it was the original copy that I got when it came out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I will never get rid of it. It's just one of those nostalgia things for me.
Yeah, and it'd always forever be like that, because there is that chunk of people, just like Scott, there's that chunk of people that know it and fucking love it, but then, like, 90% of the population never heard it and doesn't give a shit, you know, and it sucks, because it's so good. And that's how I feel about this game, too. This game is like my Facsimile, you know, it's like, that sleeper game. Oh, I'm recording. I'll probably just put all this in another rant video. I still got a bunch of rant videos to post too. How'd you learn it? Oh, Legend of Zelda's learning how to walk for me. Yeah, dude, you know what? Learning that game without the internet back then was a bitch. Dude, I had a whole notebook for it. I used to have like notebooks. I still do. I can go get my notebooks now. Just notebooks of like how to beat Nintendo games, because that's what you had to do. You had to like it was a goddamn class in college or something. You had to like draw maps and write shit down. God, if you didn't have the booklet, good luck. And it just figure out that game in particular, because it was okay. Most games that even had like secrets in it, like Mario had the warp secrets. You know, you jump over the level. You see the warp to level 4, cool beans. Okay, but that shit's like pretty easy to figure out. Most games are pretty easy to figure out. I remember for me, Legend of Zelda was like the first cryptic game where like I got to points where I swore they forgot to finish the game. Because I've done everything. I've burned every goddamn bush. I've bombed every fucking wall. You know, like, you've exhausted your resources a million times looking for nothing. And you're just like, what the hell? And, you know, like, okay, so, like, the big one was, like, the 5th dungeon. That place where it just repeats and repeats and repeats unless you go left or right. But up and down, it just boom, boom, boom. Well, how the hell am I supposed to go up 5 goddamn times in a row to find a level? I remember when I didn't even figure it out. I had someone else I knew figure it out and told me. I was so goddamn livid. I about threw that game against the wall, because I'm like, you go up like once and it's the same. You're like, okay, I'll try again. 2. Okay, it's not 2. 3. Okay, fuck this. I'm leaving. You know, and that's what I did for like a year, and I was so mad because I was like, I had the game completely mapped out. I even knew the other dungeons because I had burned the tree for level 7. I had bombed the hole for world 9. You know, like I had like the whole game fucking mapped out. But level 5 has a weapon that keeps you from continuing the fucking game, and that's how they hide it. They hide it in some bullshit, like cryptic thing. Yeah, and that's the other thing. To get there is a bitch at that point, because you can only have so many hearts. You're not strong. And you got to go through that mountain with the falling fucking rocks and all the jumping guys, and then the sand things that spin. You got to wait till they stop to even hit them once. Like, you go through this like gauntlet of bullshit to get there for absolutely nothing. So why do you ever go back? Yeah, just this cryptic asshole corner of the game. And oh, dude, I wanted to kill everyone. I was like,
I ran into a problem similar to that with Final Fantasy 1. The sand tower or whatever, where you got to do the flute in the middle of the desert to get the fucking.
Oh god,
tower.
yeah.
Dude, I played that game like 7 times to that point.
Yeah, cryptic
and
bullshit.
Couldn't figure it out, and I'd just get to it and just stop. It got to that point. And then my dad one day, he came in, he's laughing his ass off. He's like, "Here, you want me to show you how to do that? There you go." I'm like, ooh, I just turned the freaking Nintendo off and went upstairs. I was so bad.
Zelda had one of them too. You gotta go to that second little pond and play it. Yeah, that's bullshit. You hit my wedding with Sabrina. Yeah, that'll happen. Oh, you have to look on this screen and see what they're talking about. Right around there. It's like, yo, you know what? Throw a shot out there, see what happens. Maybe she'll watch my stream one day and be like, oh, that's cute.